Shabbat Shalom. Baruch Shemar V'Yahaolam. Yachid Chei Ha'olamim. Melech Meshubach Umfar Adei Shemo Gadol. Baruch Atah Adonai. Melech Mehula Batish Bachot. Ki gadol Adonai Mo'amav V'hu Kol Elohim. Ki Kol Elohim Elilim. V'Adonai Shemayim Asa V'Adon. Romanu Adonai Eloheinu V'Yishtachav El'Har Kodsho. Ki Kadosh Adonai Eloheinu V'Hu Adonai Tzvot Asher Adam B'Tei Abach. Adonai Hoshia Melech Yeneinu V'Yom Kareinu. V'ani b'chesed Chavatachti Yagel B'Yeshuatecha. Ashir al Adonai Ki Gamal Alai. Lamatzaya Mizmor David. Yilu Asani Mefi V'Yom B'Lefanecha. Adonai Tzuri V'Gawali. Tumoteg v'shara v'sonei tzadik yashamu. Povei Adonai nefesh avadav v'lo yashmu kol hachosrim bo. Tifla Moshe ish Elohim. Yerel v'decha palecha v'dacha b'nehem. V'no amar Adonai aleinu aleinu. U'maseh yadeinu kon aleinu. U'maseh yadeinu kon nenehu. Yasher b'seit elyon. Orech mi must be Yehu v'Rehu b'Shuati. Orech mi must be Yehu v'Rehu b'Shuati. Hallelujah, Lord Shem Adonai. Beit Yisrael b'chu et Adonai. Beit Aram b'chu et Adonai. Beit HaLevi b'chu et Adonai. Yirei Adonai b'chu et Adonai. B'harach Adonai mitzion. Shochen Yerushalayim, hallelujah, Hadu l'Adonai ki tov, ki l'olam chastor. Noten lechem b'chol basar, ki l'olam chastor, Hadu l'Shamayim, ki l'olam chastor. Ranenu tzadikim b'Adonai, la'yesharim nava tehillah.
Yishtabach Shimecha Lad Malkeinu Ha'el HaMelech HaGadol VeHaKadosh Bashamayim U'Va'aretz Ki Lecha שיר ושפחה, הלל וזמרה, עוז וממשלה, נצח גדולה וגבורה, תהילה ותפארת, קדושה ומלכות. ברכות והודאות מעתה ועד עולם, ברוך אתה אדוני, אל המלך גדול, בתשבחות אל ההודאות, אדון הנפלאות, הבוחר בשירי זמרה, מלך אל חיי העולמים. אל אדון על כל המעשים, ברוך ומבורך בפי כל נשמה, גודלו וטובו מלא עולם, דת ותבונה סובבים אותו, המתגרה על חיות הקודש ונדר בכבוד, על המרכבה זכות ומישור, לפני יכיסו חסד ורחמים, לפני כבודו טובים מאורות, שברא אלוהינו יצרם בדעת בבינה ובהשכל, כוח וגבורה נתן בהם, להיות מושלים בקרב תבל, מלאים זיו ומפיקים נוגה זיום, בכל העולם שמחים בצאתם וששים בבואם, עושים בהמה רצון קונם, פאר וכבוד נותנים לשמו, צהולה ורינה לזכר מלכותו, קרא לשמש ויזרח אור, רע והתקין צורת הלבנה, שבח נותנים לו כל צבא, מרום תפארת וגדולה, שרפים ואופנים וחיות הקודש, ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם, ביני ובין בני ישראל לא תהי לעולם, כי ששת ימים עשה את השמיים ואת הארץ, וביום השביעי שבת וינפש.
Shabbat Shalom. As we continue on our journeys to the Promised Land, what are the fruits of friendship which give us strength? Parshat Shlach tells the story of the 12 spies, one for each of the tribes, sent to scout out the land of Israel on Shlichim to bring back a report. Uma ha'aretz. After 40 days, the scouts return with conflicting reports. 10 spies speak negatively, reporting, Hashmenah hi, that while the land is fruitful, it is filled with powerful giants. 2 spies, Caleb and Yehoshua, bring back a positive report. They urge the people to move forward and conquer the land. This year, in studying Parshat Shlach, I noticed an interesting detail about this story. Ulechachtem mipri haaretz. Strengthens yourself and take from the fruit of the land. Why does taking from the fruit of the Promised Land give them strength? In our own personal life, what fruit gives you strength? Pri haaretz can mean many things. Firstly, it means fruit of the land. But the sages also see fruit as referring to the number of children you produce, the insights of Torah you teach, the books you write, the creative projects you bring into the world, or the teachers you learn from, and the students you teach. All of these are considered Pri Haaretz. In my life, I feel Pri Haaretz refers to the fruits of friendships that I've cultivated in the many lands that I've lived in. To unpack the different types of friendships I'm referring to, I need to tell you another Pri Haaretz, a book of teachings delivered by Rebbe Menachem Mendel of Vitebsk, who made Aliyah to Tiberias in 1777. About 200 years ago, there was a terrible famine in Eretz Yisrael, in the land of Israel. The situation was particularly bad in the north, in Tiberias and Sfat, where hundreds of Jews were dying of starvation. So the leaders of those communities got together and decided to send a Shlach, a messenger, to the Jews of Russia to try to raise money to buy food. Everybody waited anxiously for the messenger to come back, but a very long time went by and he didn't return, and nobody knew what had happened to him. At that time, the holy Rebbe Menachem Mendel of Vitebsk was living in Tiberias. Now, Rebbe Mendel had a very special custom. He always went to the Kinneret, to the Sea of Galilee, right before Shabbos to daven mincha. One Friday afternoon, he went to the Kinneret as usual, but he didn't start to pray. He just sat down on the shore and stared at the waves. And he looked so sad that the Hasidim who were there with him became very worried. Still, he was, after all, the Rebbe, and they didn't like to disturb him. So they just sat down on the sand beside him, and they all silently watched the water. Time went by, and still Rebbe Mendel didn't daven. One of the Hasidim dared to whisper, "Rebbe, don't you think we should pray?" But Rebbe Mendel didn't answer. He just kept staring into the Kinneret. It got darker and darker. The Rebbe still refused to move. His followers couldn't understand what was happening. Suddenly, just before it was totally dark, Rebbe Mendel stood up. He stretched, he smiled, he mamash laughed out loud. Then he turned to his Hasidim. "Thank you so much for waiting for me. Come, let's daven." And he led them in the afternoon prayer with great simcha, with utmost joy. After the davening, one of his followers said to him, "Rebbe, I hope you won't be offended, but I can't help but wonder. First you were so sad, and now you're so happy. What's going on?" And Rebbe Mendel answered, "Do you remember the messenger we sent to Russia to collect money for food? We received word that he had succeeded in his mission and on his way home. Then he suddenly disappeared, and we couldn't find out where he was or what had delayed him. Today, just as I came here to the Kinneret, heaven showed me the whole story. When our messenger reached Istanbul, the Turkish Pasha arrested him and confiscated all the money he had collected. There was no way he could get the money or return home. Now, everybody knows that the Holy Wall in Jerusalem is the gateway to heaven for all of our prayers. Everybody's prayers from all over the world have come first to the Kotel, and from there they go up before God's holy throne. But what most people don't know is that before going to the Holy Wall, all of our tefillot, all of our words before God, have to go to the mikvah to be purified. And the mikvah for all the prayers of the world is here, the Kinneret, the Sea of Galilee. When the Kinneret saw that the Pasha had taken our messenger's money, it decided that it would not allow so many Jewish lives to be lost. So the Sea of Galilee went on strike. It absolutely refused to cleanse or purify anybody's prayers until the Pasha released both our shaliach and the money. This caused a big commotion in the heavenly court. One side said that everybody, even the Pasha, had free choice, and the Kinneret had no right to try to interfere with what he was doing. And the other side was the Sea of Galilee, which just kept saying, "I cannot stand by and let the starving Jews die. I will not serve as the mikvah for one single prayer until the Pasha relents and the Jews get their money." The battle between these two sides has been going on ever since our messenger disappeared. Today, heaven let me watch as the court made its final decision. You see, the world can't exist if its prayers don't reach God, and the prayers can't go up without first being purified. The Kinneret held out, and in the end, it won. Heaven finally influenced the Pasha to change his mind. I just heard him announce, "Release the messenger. Let the money go on to Israel to save the suffering Jews." Let me now share with you the Pri Haaretz of 3 different kinds of friendship. You know, sometimes we meet people, And even though we may not have never seen them before, when we're with them, we feel a heightened clarity. That means our prayers went together into the mikvah of the Sea of Galilee. This is like my friendship with Sarah Golden from San Francisco, because we can sit in silence together for hours and feel each other's presence. Or sometimes, we meet somebody for the first time, somebody who is a total stranger, and right away, we start sharing the deepest depths of our heart with this person. This means our prayers met at the Holy Wall. This is like my friendship with Maddie and Masha at Herzliya. And we immediately started sharing everything about our lives, from our dreams to our fears together. And then there are times when we see other people, even from far away. Maybe they are only walking past us on the other side of the street, but we feel like we know them. We know their heart and their soul. This is like my friendship with Michaela from Herzliya. I would always sit across from her at the cafeteria table, and it felt like I knew everything about her, and later we became fast friends. This is a sure sign that our prayers ascended together before God's holy throne, because when our prayers meet each other and become one, that's the deepest closeness in the whole world. As we make our way to our own promised land, may we all learn to really appreciate the different fruits of friendship, to become aware of those fruits that give us clarity, that support our dreams and reduce our fears, that in a broken world give us a sense of oneness and sweetness. Thank you and Shabbat Shalom. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kitanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu la'asok b'divrei Torah. V'daber Adonai el Moshe lemor, shlach lecha anashim, v'yatru et eretz Canaan asher ani noten livnei Yisrael, ish echad lematei avotav tishlachu kol nasi bahem, v'yishlach otam Moshe mimidbar paran al pi Adonai, kulam anashim Moshe b'nei Yisrael hema, v'leshemotam lematei Reuven Shemuel ben Zachor, lematei Shimon Shaphat ben Chori, lematei Yehuda Kalev ben Yefuneh, lematei Yisachar Yigal ben Yosef, Lematei Ephraim, Hoshea ben Nun, Lematei Benyamin, Palti ben Rafu, Lematei Zebulun, Gadiel ben Sodi, Lematei Yosef, Lematei Menashe, Gadi ben Susi, Lematei Dan, Amiel ben Gemali, Lematei Asher, Setor ben Mikael, Lematei Naphtali, Nachbi ben Bosi, Lematei Gad, Getwell ben Machi, Ele Shemahot Anashim, Asher Shalach Moshe, Latur et Ha'aretz, Vayikra Moshe, LeHoshea ben Nun, Yehoshua, Vayishlach otam Moshe, Latur et Aretz Canaan, Vayomer Alehem, Alu Zeh Banegev, V'ulitem et Tahar, V'uritem et Ha'aretz Mahi, V'ta'am Hayoshev Aleha, Achazak, Hu Harafa, Hama'atz, Hu Imrav, Ha'aretz, Asher Hu Yoshev Ba, Hatova hi imra umaha erim asher hu yoshev bahena abamachanim im b'mimsarim umaharetz hashmina hi imraza hayeshbah etz im ayin v'chazaktem ulechaktem mi pri ha'aretz v'hayamim yemei b'kurei anavim.
Talia, you did a wonderful, wonderful job. It's such an incredible honor. These are the Pri Ha'aretz that every parent dreams of, being able to gather at this moment of the anniversary of your bat mitzvah. And so all I can say is you give me so much nachas. Ima and I are so proud of you. And I want to share this special blessing with you for sharing those very inspiring words of Torah and for reading the anniversary of Parshat Shlach. Mishaberach Avotenu Avraham Yitzhak v'Yaakov Sarivka Rachel v'Leah Hu Yivarech et Talia Sahara bat Aharon lahav ragadna shalem ve'tasiela lebeit nuria shalta lichvod hamakom lichvod haTorah v'lichvod shnat habat mitzvah lichvod haShabbat HaKadosh Baruch Hu yishmereha v'yichoneha liyot v'shleima im Adonai Eloheha lagot b'Torato lecha b'drochav l'shmor mitzvotav v'yishlach bracha v'tzlacha b'chol ma'aseh yadeha v'tizkeh la'alot im kol Yisrael acheha v'nomar Amen. May the God bless our ancestors Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, Sarah, Rebecca, Rachel, and Leah. Bless you, Tali Sahara, upon coming for this very special anniversary celebration of your bat mitzvah. May the Holy Only One of Blessing protect you and sustain you, Talia, helping you to be wholehearted in your emunah, to continue studying Torah and taking hold of Torah, bringing it forward in your own unique and special voice, sharing it in an authentic way with God and with the community. And may we continue being able to have the opportunity to rear you to maturity, guiding you the blessings of Torah, one day, God willing, to the chuppah, and a life of ma'asim tovim, of good deeds to redeem the world. Talia, may you always find favor before God and your community, and we love you very much. And together we say, Amen. Mazel tov. I want you to pay attention to this fascinating Haftarah selection that the Reverend is about to read. And I want you to compare it to the Torah reading about the spies that were sent forth by Moses that Talia just read, because something is going on here. If you look, you will see that this Haftarah taken from the book of Joshua is framed by the opening dispatch of the spies who were sent off as well as shlichim to scout out the land. And the concluding notice of the Haftarah recounts their safe return and their positive report, in contrast to what we saw in the Torah reading with the negative report. Notice further differences, however. The spies in this retelling come to the house of Rachav, the lady of the night who provides them shelter when they are in most need and when they are most vulnerable. They make a deal with her that their host, in exchange for their shelter, they offer her safekeeping. Rachav is a stranger who sees that becoming an ally with the Israelites is actually mutually beneficial. She requests no more than the life-saving protection that she has provided to the Israelite spies, and she has risked her life for them, and they in turn will risk their life for her. It's amazing to notice that Rachav is one of the many allies who first appear to us in the Bible as a stranger, but she turns out to be a great lover of Israel and an ally of the Jewish people. We've been talking about this together throughout the last weeks in our discussion series, Being Lights in Dark Times, Judaism and Civil Rights, the importance of developing friendships and allies. And we learned this week from Rachav, as well as from my conversation with Rabbi Or Rose of Hebrew College, what it means to be an ally. It takes courage. There is a risk involved, but opening ourselves to others, even if they appear strange or they look like strangers, is so critical at this time. Rachav's story in the Haftarah we're about to read is an invitation during these summer months to begin to practice a deeper hospitality. Let's learn from Rachav's example of curiosity, of generosity and hospitality during these dog days of summer, to open up our hearts and minds to be those allies that we wish to find amongst other religions and other races. God knows our allies and our friends are waiting for us. So won't you join me and reach out together?
Vayishlach Yeshua bin min hashitim shnayim anashim meraglim mecheresh lemor lechu ruet aretz et Yericho vayelchu vayavo beidish zonah shma Rachav vayishkavu shama vayamar lemelech Yericho lemor hine anashim ba'u heina halayla mimnei Yisrael achporet haaretz vayishlach melech Yericho el Rachav lemor hotzi hanashim aboim elayich asher ba'u lebeitech ki lachpor kol haaretz ba'u v'tikach ha'isha et shnei anashim atitz peno v'tomer kein ba'u elai hanashim v'lo yadati ma'ayin heima v'tomer kedivrechem kenu v'tishlachem v'yelechu v'tikshor et tikvar hashani b'chalon v'yachu v'yavohu hara v'yeshu sham shalosh yamin ad shavu harofim v'yivakshu harofim b'chol haderech v'lo matzau v'yashuvu shnei hanashim v'yardu me'ahar v'yavru v'yavohu el Yeshua bin Nun v'yesapru lo et kol כל המצות אותם, ויאמרו אל יהושע, כי נתן אדוני בידינו את כל הארץ, וגם נמוגו כל יושבי הארץ מפנינו. משבח אבותינו אברהם יצחק ויעקב, שורף כרחל ולאה, ויברך וירפא כל החולים בקהילה הקדושה שערי ציון, בנימין בן רבקה, חיה בת זיסר, בלומה בת סורל, איתה בת מנדל, בלומה בת פרימד, לידה בת רבקה, ג'ון קוסטה, אברהם הכהן בן רבקה, חנוך הלוי בן נחמה, יעקב בת לאה, סורפידה בת יהודית, שלומי בת שרה, יוסף בן שרה, אילנית בת טובה, לאה בלה בת ברכה, יעקב בן חנה, אלכה בת שרה, אליחנה בת אהבה, נאווה בת שרה, הרב שמעון הלוי בן נחמה, לאה בת יהודית, אברהם בן פריה, יעקב בן ראש אמיריה, אסתר בת קרנו רזו, לומוד בת שרה, רבקה בת מלכה לאה, אברהם בן בלומה, פרידה חנה בת רבקה, קהילה חיה בת צביה ארלה בן לאה, אברהם הרשם בן פסריבה, יהודית חנה בת רחל, משה יהודית בת שעה, פרידה בת פגל, שרה באסתר, לאה בת צליקה, יצחק בן בלומה, ישראל ברוך בן רודה, חיים פסל בן דבורה רחל, אליעזר בן מרים, יוספה איירה בת אריאנה, אריאנה בת דיאנה, דבורה מרים בת פרומה, דינה בת שרה לאה, רינה שושנה בת שרה לאה, ריבה בת ברנדל, יצחק יעקב בן גולדה, חנוך הלוי בן רבקה, שאול בן דינה, עגה פרל בת גתל אלכה, אריה בן מינה. הקדוש ברוך הוא ימלא רחמים עליהם, לעשות גם רבותם ושלח להם רפואה שלמה מן השמיים, רפואת הנפש, רפואת הגוף בטוח לישראל, לזעוק רפואה לבוא, השתלה בגלל זמן קריב ונאמר Amen. May God who blessed our ancestors, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, Sarah, Rebecca, Rachel, and Leah, bring blessing and healing to all those who suffer illness within our congregational family. May the Holy One mercifully restore them to health and vigor, granting them physical and spiritual well-being together with all others who are ill. And we yet hope and pray that healing is at hand. Let us all say, Amen.
A prayer for the health and healing of our healers and our helpers. May the one who bless our ancestors bless all those who put themselves at risk to care for us, the physicians, nurses and orderlies, technicians, home health aides, EMTs, and pharmacists, respiratory therapists, social workers, and of course mental health professionals, all those who navigate the unfolding dangers of the world each day to tend to those they have sworn to help, all those who keep our society functioning for us in this still uncertain time, the grocery managers and the store clerks, delivery workers, cleaning staff, cooks, and the volunteers shopping for us, delivering for us, and just checking in on us. Bless them all in their going out, and bless them in their coming home. Source of all breath, healer of all beings, protect them and restore their hope. Strengthen them that they may bring strength. Keep them in health that they may bring healing. Bless the sacred work of their hands. May this plague pass from among all of us speedily and in our days, and together let us say, Amen.
יהי רצון מלפניך, אדוני אלוהינו ואלוהי אבותינו, שתחדש עלינו את החודש הזה לטובה ולברכה, ותיתן לנו חיים ארוכים, חיים של שלום, חיים של טובה, חיים של ברכה, חיים של פרנסה, חיים של חילוץ עצמות, חיים שיש בהם יראת שמיים, יראת שמיים ויראת חטא, חיים שאין בהם בושה וכלימה, חיים של אושר וכבוד, חיים שתהיה בנו אהבת תורה, אהבת תורה ויראת שמיים, חיים שימלאו משאלות ליבנו לטובה, אמן סלע. מי שעשה ניסים לאבותינו וגאל אותם מעבדות לחירות, הוא יגאל אותנו בקרוב, ויקבץ תנחנו מערבה כנפות הארץ. חברים כל ישראל ונאמר אמן. ראש חודש תמוז יהיה ביום שני וביום שלישי, הבא עלינו ועל כל ישראל לטובה. We bless the new month of Tammuz, which will be arriving, God willing, Sunday night, Monday and Tuesday. יחדשהו הקדוש ברוך הוא עלינו ועל כל עמו בית ישראל לחיים ולשלום, לששון ולשמחה, לישועה ולנחמה, ונאמר Amen.
Being lights in dark times, Judaism and civil rights today. As the world is on fire over the darkness of racial injustice across North America, how are we to respond as Jews? The prophetic tradition following Isaiah 49:6 is a clarion call to us all to be a light unto the nations, or Lagoyim. Not only do we follow the prophetic path of the prophet Isaiah, but we also walk in the footsteps of our teachers from JTS, like Rabbi Abraham Joshua Heschel, who marched in Selma with Dr. Martin Luther King. And so we share with you now a very, very fascinating discussion that I was honored to have with a friend and colleague of mine and teacher, a chavruta, Rabbi Or Rose, former Winnipegger. Rabbi Rose is the founding director of the Betty Ann Greenbaum Miller Center for Interreligious Learning and Leadership at Hebrew College. He has been honored for his now nearly 2 decades of service of interreligious educational efforts, teaching, preaching, and training future leaders throughout North America to be able to come across racial and religious lines for the sake of chesed, for the sake of compassion and empathy, for the sake of tzedek, of justice, and for tikkun olam, to repair the world. I invite you now to join in on a highlight of our conversation for this Bima dialogue on our special Shabbat together. Please welcome now Rabbi Or Rose.
On the one hand, every day we need to act in kind and merciful ways. And there are people that are immediately in front of us or may be hidden from us that we have to help, sometimes in small ways and sometimes in big ways. But we also have to ask ourselves, particularly in this moment of extremis, what is wrong systemically? Why is it that we continue as a society in North America to struggle with this disease of racism and bigotry? You mentioned Heschel before, and he once said very simply but very astutely that racism is an eye disease. We're dealing with the coronavirus now, and we're suffering from a terrible virus. But it's good to remember, too, that along with this pandemic, we're dealing with a much older kind of illness, which is racism. And so, what are the systems that have been put in place that allow for that to be perpetuated? More poignantly, I think we also need to ask ourselves honestly and lovingly, what do we do to participate in holding up those systems of inequality and of injustice? And to try and do it, I think, in specific ways that then begin closest to home and orbit outwards. So, for example, what is the place of Jews of color in our synagogues, in our schools, in our summer camps? Do those people feel welcome? Are they given opportunities to share their life experiences? Are they given opportunities to lead? And what are the assumptions that we make about who is Jewish and what it means to be Jewish and which lineages and traditions we turn to and why? And then orbiting outwards to think about the people that we interact with in different contexts. We are all people who are intersectional, which is to say, we participate in several communities simultaneously, and we play different roles in those communities. So again, when we think about the people of color or others that are marginalized in our communities historically, what can we do, whether it's big or small, to disrupt conversation and to try and advocate for change? And before I pause, I just want to say too that invoking the prophet Isaiah or invoking Rabbi Heschel, on the one hand, is incredibly inspiring. On the other hand, it can be very intimidating. And so what I would not want people to walk away from a conversation like this is to think that you have to be a Heschel in order to make a difference. I think it's also dangerous because we can look back nostalgically at a person like Heschel or the relationship between Heschel and King and pat ourselves on the back and say, well, we've been there, we've done that collectively, or he or they have done that for us. And so your question before still stands, which is how do we carry that legacy forward here and now? What can we learn from such individuals and from the context in which they lived and worked and from the many people that they worked with and learned from? And, what do we need to do here and now?
Hi. My question was, in Montreal, like the Jewish community is homogeneous than in some other cities. So there's very little racial diversity in the Jewish community. In my Jewish school, there are only 2 people of color. I'm friends with one and I've reached out to the other, but this is very limited. What is the obligation on Jewish teens in Montreal to go out and find opportunities to engage people of color and give them the opportunity to speak and lead?
What a great question. Beautifully put. You must have interesting parents. So I would say that each of us lives in a particular ecosystem. And in each of those ecosystems, we have the opportunity to engage difference in different ways. So I remember, for example, growing up in Winnipeg. And in Winnipeg, there also were far fewer opportunities to engage Jews of color and people that identified, as Black or what we would now call African Americans or Canadians. but there were many opportunities to engage indigenous or Aboriginal people who are also very tragically, as you well know, marginalized, oppressed, degraded in all kinds of ways. And so there was an opportunity to do some of that work, which is no less important. So that's one thing to think about. Who are the others in your neighborhood, religiously, socially, economically? Who are the people that are not given the opportunity to be seen and to be heard? Who you feel are not given a fair shot because the ways in which we've organized our societies privilege some over others. The other advantage, of course, when it comes to your particular issue is that you live in the age of the internet and of digital communication. So I think there are some powerful opportunities to connect with other teens, not only in Montreal, but other parts of Canada and throughout the United States and beyond. One other thing that I'd recommend, and this is not exhaustive, is also to think about how to bring some of these voices, the voices of teens, of people of color, other folks that are historically marginalized, into conversation with your community. That is, it's not the same as living together, but could we be enriched by conversations? Could we set up, for example, a monthly conversation group? Or are there particular speakers? Or could you read the works of great African-American writers, poets, listen to the music of such people, and have a conversation with folks from that community in some way? So I think that is an interesting advantage, even in the midst of, or maybe especially in the midst of COVID, where it's hard to be as active as we might want to be, in terms of physical proximity and so forth. The other thing I'll just say on a small level is something that a friend of mine said this afternoon. I asked an African-American imam, who's a dear friend of mine, what would he say to Jews that want to be helpful and thoughtful allies in this moment? And one of the things that he said that I thought was really powerful was, when I am not there, think about the conversation that's unfolding. And imagine if I was there, what you would feel comfortable hearing and what you would feel uncomfortable hearing, and how you might speak in constructive and disruptive ways when certain kinds of habitual patterns emerge, when we talk about those people or that group. And I thought that was really powerful because it's not something that's gigantic, but it's something that's to do with the here and now. I'm in line for Kiddush, or I'm getting on the school bus, or I'm in class and someone is kibitzing and makes a joke that really is offensive, or, fill in the blanks. And, and we need to try and do so with a certain kind of loving kindness, with a certain understanding that we are all in progress. But can we be advocates for change in small ways too?
Yes, Rabbi Rose, one of the things that strikes me a lot when it comes to racism is it's always, the marginalized race that is battling against the dominants, the white people, the white Anglo-Saxons, or however you want to put it. But one of the things that I've also noticed is that minorities go at each other more often than I think a lot of us really realize. But if you really pay attention to each community, be it Greek, Italian, Jewish, whatever, is that there always seems to be a conflict there. And I'm wondering what your thoughts on that may be as to why. Is it because you can't fight the big guy, so go after somebody smaller?
I think that's a really powerful and painful question. I think some of it does have to do with what battles we may think are winnable, and the size of the enemy. But I also think to turn to something that I said before, that in contexts where there are many people and many groups that experience pain and suffering in different ways, we want to be seen and heard and understood. And oftentimes, for a whole host of reasons, we feel like it's a zero-sum game. That if we make space for other people to articulate their pain, their suffering, that somehow ours will be diminished or will be sidelined, or that people won't take it as seriously. And
like all lives matter.
Right. So that has something to do with evolutionary biology and our basic need and desire for survival, but it also has to do with a whole set of social behaviors and patterns and aggressions and hurts and pains intergenerationally. So, can I say in the same moment that, we as a community are still very much recovering from the Shoah through the generations, and that African Americans also do not have the kinds of privilege, power, and opportunity that I do as a Jew in Newton today? That's again one of the tensions that we have to hold. It is undeniable that I have opportunities because people perceive me as white, and I can put on and take off my kippah to enter into certain spaces, to be heard, to be affirmed, in ways that my African American friends and colleagues do not experience. And at the same time, I also carry my own personal peckle of stuff, and my community carries with it some really painful stuff over the course of generations. And one doesn't cancel the other out. But we have a very hard time doing that. Practically, I would say to you, Paul, the more opportunities you have, both personally and communally, to enter into conversation with people that are different from you in ways that allow for honest and growth promoting conversation and joint action, the more understanding there'll be. There are no shortcuts. That's one of the sad parts about, all of these flare-ups, because ideally we would be in relationship with people who are othered, who are experiencing pain in one way or another. We wouldn't be racing, now in the ways that many of us are to try and connect. So can we build this as a practice? I dare say as a spiritual practice, that these relational practices require attention in the same way that we try and daven 3 times a day, or that we study Torah regularly. And what would it mean to say, as we prepare now, for Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur, I want to make, a commitment to engage interreligiously, cross-culturally, interracially, with a certain number of people this year. I want it to be a part of the focus of my synagogue community. I want to study something that's meaningful with other people, so that we learn to understand why they believe what they believe, why they practice in the ways that they practice, why it is that they find difficult some of the things that we think are positive or neutral, and to share with them the same things. But it does require work. Dialogue, community organizing require a set of skills and a discipline that I think sometimes we don't account for when we think about what it means to live the kind of vision that Isaiah or a Heschel was calling us to live. So I hope that's helpful, and not too broad, but again, braiding your question together with Talia's, who in your neighborhood, who in your township, who in your school system, who is it that your children play soccer or hockey with? In my house, hockey is a very important part of our lives. And it's been an eye-opening experience to learn about certain kinds of difference. And the assumptions we make about other people and they make about us is sometimes astounding, in the year 2021. It's something.
ישמחו במלכותך שונה שבת, שונה שבת בקורא עונג בקורא עונג שבת. המקדש שבי כולם יזמעו ויתענגו, כולם יזמעו ויתענגו. שומרי שבת, שומרי שבת בקורא עונג בקורא עונג שבת. ובשבי רצית בו וקידשתו, ובשבי רצית בו וקידשתו. ישמחו במלכותך שומרי שבת, שומרי שבת בקורא עונג בקורא עונג שבת. חמדת ימים אותו קראת, חמדת ימים אותו קראת, חמדת ימים אותו קראת שבת, חמדת ימים אותו קראת שבת. חמדת ימים אותו קראת שבת, חמדת ימים אותו קראת ישמחו במלכותך שומרי שבת, שומרי שבת בקורא עונג בקורא עונג שבת.
אין כאלוהינו, אין כאדוננו, אין כמלכנו, אין כמושיענו, מי כאלוהינו, מי כאדוננו, מי כמלכנו, מי כמושיענו. נודה לאלוהינו, נודה לאדוננו, נודה למלכנו, נודה למושיענו. ברוך אלוהינו, ברוך אדוננו, ברוך מלכנו, ברוך מושיענו. אתה הוא אלוהינו, אתה הוא אדוננו, אתה הוא מלכנו, אתה הוא מושיענו. אתה הוא שהקטירו אבותינו לפניך, אבותינו לפניך, את קטורת הסמים.
In love, we remember those who no longer walk this earth, and we're grateful to God for the gift of their lives, for for the joys we shared and for the cherished memories that never fade. May God grant those who mourn the strength to see beyond their sorrow, sustain them despite their grief, and may the emunah that binds us to our loved ones be a continuing source of comfort as we invite those who mourn and those remember now the following Yortzites that are observed this Shabbat. Toby Shulman, remembering her mother, Fanny Basior Goldner, blessed memory, and David Rosenblatt, remembering his mother, Anne Rosenblatt, a blessed memory, and all those reciting the words of memory, hope, and redemption, join us now for Kaddish Le'achid. Ana Baruch, Ana Bekoach, Tatir Nafshi Tzrura. Oh, be gentle, stay strong, please release my bound soul as I pray these words. Yid Gadal v'Yid Gadash Shemei Rabbah, Be'alma Divra Cherutei v'Yamlich Malchutei, V'chayechon v'Yomechon v'Chayei Dechol Beit Yisrael, V'Agala v'Zman Kariv v'Imru, Amen Yehei Shmei Rabba Mevorach, Le'olam Olmei Olmaya. Yitbarach v'Yishtabach v'Yitpoar v'Yitromam v'Yitnaseh, V'Tadar v'Tale v'Talal, Shemei Dekudsha Barichu, Le'ela Mikol Birchata v'Shirata, Tushbechata v'Nechemata, Damiran Be'alma v'Imru Amen. Yehei Shlama Rabba Min Shemaya, V'Chaim Aleinu Ve'al Kol Yisrael v'Imru Amen. Oseh Shalom B'Imromav, Hu Yaseh Shalom. Aleinu Ve'al Kol Yisrael v'Imru. Ana Gaguim v'Hemaya, Drushim li yoter min hakayam, she'echsof. Oh, these yearnings and sighs are more demanding of me than life itself. So shall I yearn to pray these words, Ken yehi ratzon, if it be your will.
אדון עולם אשר מלך בטרם כל יציר נברא, לעת נעשה וחפצו כל, אזי מלך שמו נקרא, ויחרי ככלות הכל, לבדו ימלוך נורא, והוא היה והוא הווה, והוא יהיה בתפארה, והוא אחד ואין שני, להמשיללו להכבירה, בלי ראשית בלי תכלית, ולא העוז והמשרה, והוא אלי וחי גואלי, וצור חבלי בעת צרה, והוא ניסי ומנוס לי, מנת כוסי ביום קרה, בידו הפקיד רוחי, בית ישן והעירה, ואם רוחי גבייתי, אדוני לי ולא